Hi everyone, I'm Taryn and this is 6 Signs, part number 4, how to make a simple drum set. I am now, as you can see, on MuleLab, simply because actually I have no idea how to use Reaper. My idea is not strong enough, because I've made myself a little template in MuleLab years and years and years ago, and I keep making it again and again. And this template is just a key splitter, so I can have like almost like a general MIDI setup for each instance for each node. So that's all. So you may ignore this, but just so you know, this is MuleLab. Still one of my most beloved, precious stores. But yeah, I'm kind of developing a liking for Reaper too. Anyhow, so here it is, MuleLab, my little drum template, and I'm going to add now some 6 signs to that. So let's do this. And we're going to make one for our kick drum. I put that on C, or C3 in that case. I'm going to make one that is the snare drum, and that goes on D3. And one that goes on F sharp, and that's going to be the hi-hat. And this is going to be a very, very basic drum set, of course. So hopefully quick enough. Quicker if I don't talk as much. Yeah, I know. Oh, and all of these notes, all of the keys, they are transposed so that they're all C3. Just for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to try and be sort of consistent in the order of what adjustments I make for each drum. And so I'll always now start by making an amplitude envelope. That's like the, one of the most defining features for the drums, except actually most are rather short. And probably our kick drum will be the longest. Making the kick drum. We go into our level and we make our amplitude envelope. And I'm going to put the sustain on 0 and a rather short decay time. I always put the shape to minus 100%, which gives us that kind of exponential shape. Right? And I can hear that sustain isn't all the way on 0. This is something that happens to me quite often. Funny here. Okay, and now the release time, I'm going to make a bit shorter, and also the shape to minus 100%. It's a bit too short. Okay. So there's that. And there's also a very heavy tick in the beginning. That's the attack. It's really, really short. I'm going to really put that up to like 10 milliseconds. And again, also here the shape to minus 100%. That's pretty soft, but it should work quite well, you will see. Okay, and the velocity sensitivity we put to like, well, I don't know, around 80%, 84, I don't know. Or maybe 90. Okay, 90%. So there's that. The next thing I'll do, just for the sake of visual simplicity, I want to go an octave down, and I'm going to do this over the settings. So we go into the settings, and I'm going to bring this down an octave. All right, so that's now an octave down. And now let's get started with the pitch envelope. Operator 1, we're making a pitch envelope. Here I also go with sustain to 0, and I made it all the way. A rather tight decay time. Again, shape minus 100%. And always minus 100%. And here I leave decay and release almost at the same level. Right now you wouldn't hear it. I must first put in an envelope depth, and here comes the real kicker. And that is, this kind of stuff makes you do different things on headphones than if you were working with speakers. Because on headphones, you might think you need more attack. Oh yeah, this is great. But on speakers, this will give you a very nasty tick, and it almost swallows the bottom, so that will be very annoying. So for that sake, I recommend going to something around 3, maybe 3. Let's go to 3. That's like 1.5 octaves higher. Okay, we have that. And also, when I play softer, I want it also not to go as high up in the pitch envelope. So I go to modulation, pick velocity, and then envelope attenuation, and kind of like, yeah, 60% around that. Because you still want a bit of the pitch envelope, even on softer notes. Just not as much. Okay, so that's that. And there's another funny thing you can do, and right now you would probably hear it the most, and that is, let's go into the operator 1 feedback, and we crank this up a little bit, makes it nasty. Sounds stupid, eh? And I'm gonna give this an envelope too, so we get a bit more of some abstract attack phase. Sustain all the way to 0, release all very tight, decay all really tight, like that. And again, we shape this to minus 100%. And that just gives a little bit of some ugliness in the beginning. It's like almost like a saturation. Yeah, it's like a saturation. Doesn't have to be more than that. What happens if we were to use overdrive? I don't even know. Nothing good. You don't want that. Okay. So yeah, you see, I'm also still playing around. But now let's give a little extra attack for that kick by making the second operator work for us, and we give it just a little bit of level. And here we definitely go into the feedback, give it a 10 times overdrive, and let's put it to like, I don't know, 27, 26%, doesn't matter. So this sounds like, ooh, what the hell is this? Ooh. Hang on. So first of all, we're going to make a very tight amplitude envelope for operator 2. So operator 2 level, sustain to 0, really, really tight release, really, really tight decay, tight release. And now you get the little tick. If I go all the way to 100%, it becomes too noisy, too bright. You may like this on headphones, on speakers, probably not so much. You want hi-hats for that. Yeah, but here you just want this a little bit. You can continue to adjust the timbre in various ways. For example, if you find this too tonal, you can also go into operator 2's ratio and give this also a pitch envelope. That could be really, really tight, however you want it. So you can adjust the timbre that way too, also with a ratio now. Like so. Oh god, and it scares me to make this on headphones now. I have gotten so used to the speakers that I'm literally uneasy about doing this on headphones. Okay, operator 2 level once more, last time. We go into MIDI velocity and envelope attenuation, crank this really all the way up now, so that the little tick gets really much less the softer we play it. Okay, that's it. So we have a little bit of a kick. Another thing I find interesting to do, sometimes the simple amplitude envelope gives a little strange curve or a strange bottom, a little long. And sometimes I tighten this up by going into operator 1 level and giving that a little bit of an extra envelope. It's just makes it tighter. If we want it or not, different question. But it's kind of, I like it. It makes almost more organic too. But okay, so let that have been the kick, and let's go to the snare. So the snare. All right, snare again. First, our envelope. Let's make this very tight. Sustain to 0, shape -100, shape -100. And definitely also attack, because that can be nasty. Okay. Now, on the operator ratio, we probably will want to give this also an envelope, but we can hear this a little later. I would say let's skip this. Let's leave it straight as it is right now. And let's go straight to the snarey part, the snares itself. This one seems very easy. Let's go operator 2 feedback, all the way to 100%, 10 times overdrive. Level, okay, let's crank it all the way up. And give it also a velocity on the envelope attenuation. Also not all the way on this one. Okay, and we're going to give this also an envelope for the amplitude. Gonna go down with the sustain maybe to 0. We will see in a moment. And a bit of decay and release. Maybe we leave the release longer. Yeah, this one has a fall off anyway. Okay, and now, so the snares, they should react to you hitting the membrane. So we're going to give them a bit of an attack. Maybe adjust the shape a little. And now we're going to give them a little bit of a delay. Check, this is so interesting, I find. Can you hear that? That little brief moment. Okay, now let's have a look at the operator 1 pitch. We go to the ratio. Ooh, yeah, this one is a bit spooky, but we shall see. So I'm making standard envelope here. And now, let's see. Because the snare you want also to be tuned. You know, all of them are actually tonal. But yeah, okay, let's do this. Let's go to, oops, we are just 1 octave higher. Oh, we will see, we will see. We will see. This is a tough one. It could be so many things. And I'm a little scared about hearing that over the speakers. That's gotta be the hi-hat. Ooh, velocity! Yes, I almost forgot the velocity. So level velocity also all the way up. Oh god, I don't know what this sounds like. We shall see. The other thing too, to adjust the timbre, we can also do a bit of amplitude phase modulation on operator 2. And that's actually, there's something really cool. We can give this a bit of an envelope. So I'm gonna just a smidget let it move. Gives a little extra something. Yeah, don't forget to turn on overdrive. And maybe we just add for shits and giggles a little velocity sensitivity to it. Gives more variation when you play it expressively. Okay. Alright, off to the hi-hat. And now, let's do the hi-hat. Whew. I might just do a closed hi-hat with a slight chance of being open. We shall see. So again, the amplitude envelope is almost like the same. You see, short decay. And also we're gonna add some attack to it, just to avoid involuntary clicks. And velocity sensitivity all the way up. And okay, all right, and here comes the weird part. Hi-hats, they are always somehow scary, but I know it's gotta be high. Yay! So operator 1, I'm gonna bring this up. Let's bring it up to like 16. 16-ish? Yeah, 16-ish. And operator 2, we're gonna go even higher. Well, I don't know. Let it be around 23-ish, doesn't matter. And we're gonna turn off our level for operator 1 and bring our 2 all the way up. And now we're going into the phase modulation, 10 times overdrive, and we see what happens. See how metallic it becomes instantly? And here you can start adjusting to your heart's content. You can be sure that when you use feedback, stuff will get noisier. But has definitely an impact on the timbre. 10 times overdrive. Something you could do. We can do that with the other as well. Alright, kind of hi-hat-ish. I'd like to hear the tone for a second, because we might do some adjustments with the pitch. Yeah, this stuff we will play a lot more with. For now, also let's go back into operator 2 level, and I'm also gonna give this a velocity, which sounds weird. This is like twice velocity for the volume, but here it just is easier and nicer to play, I find. And I'm also gonna give this an extra envelope, even though it's the only one on, so it's like twice an envelope, but you will hopefully find out why. We could be super bold and try to make it also able to go open. But it's very brave to do that. Okay. And now we'll adjust all of that in a second. And also automatically I really want it to be more quiet. Okay, let's go into the settings and add unisono for sure. Check this out, that's a nice difference. Isn't that nice? And when you change the tuning spread, it has a huge impact on the timbre tuning. You could even use more unisonos. But I like 2 is good because it sort of maintains the metallic nature more, I find. Still scared what it sounds like over speakers. Okay, so we have a hi-hat. Let's do a tiny little test run and just make some silly... I play something. Let's loop it. Let's see. Terrible, isn't it? Okay. Very often just play a little pattern just to have a pattern. Okay. Oh yeah. Quiet. Quiet. I'm making a little hi-hat. Okay. Yo. Let's just repeat it. Doesn't matter for now. What happened? Uh, how about that? Yes, and a long kick. Oh, well, it's not great. Anyhow, it got you a little bit of a starter, I think. Sometimes just playing a little bit of something to it puts more context around the drums. That can be helpful depending on how well you play it. It could go very wrong. Okay. And then while this plays, that's when I pick out, for example, oh, the hi-hat is, I don't know, too low or too something wrong, or the amplitude envelopes of the snare are horrible or whatever. I let it play, and then I of course do adjustments then in real time to see, you know, what might sound better. But yeah, headphones, they scare me, but I'm trying it. Let's see. So let's see if we can do some nicer adjustment to the hi-hat. Oh, that's kind of nice. That's nice. It's nicer, huh? You know what? Let's go into the snare. We're playing. Again, we're playing. Go into the snare and let's give the snare also an unisono and see what happens. I let it play and then I change it to unisono. Well, on heads, it feels nice. I almost don't want to eat. I don't even want to hear it over speakers now. It's gonna be hell. Please, please, please do your adjustments. You know, don't take my word for what I'm doing here. But I hope that sort of got you a little bit an idea of you know, how to approach drums. In this case, with 6 signs. But it is actually very, very similar with all of the synths, although some are more esoteric. This one isn't even that esoteric, actually. It's quite explicit. But you can play a heck of a lot with the finest nuances of that. Add dirt to it, you know, all sorts of stuff you can do. Even on the snare, for example, we could also do a bit of extra dirt. Well, fine stuff, little things. Sometimes you don't even think you hear them because you can't hear them. But yeah, you get the idea. All right, at least now you know how I'm doing stuff. Actually, you don't, because I swear now I'm working with speakers and it's a whole different world. It has its own disadvantages. For example, the hi-hats. When you do hi-hats over speakers, there are a lot of things you don't hear. So then when you put on headphones, you think, what on earth did I just do? You hear funny little, whatever, crackle, crack, all kinds of stuff that you wouldn't hear over speakers. So use your gear, use headphones, use speakers, and come to your adjustments, and you have all the time in the world until you're happy, and then you can see what happens next. Bye for now.